Hi, it's Melissa with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, and I'm here with my better half. And we are here to talk about tip one, which is savings. So, typically, when purchasing a home, you want to make sure that you have money in the bank because that's important when it comes to getting the pre-approved for your home loan to make sure that you have adequate funds saved up and different things that you can do to save. So we have tried a couple things for saving. So one is having more than one account. And what I mean by that is having an account for the house. So I call it the house account. So the house account basically deals with everything that deals with the home as far as your mortgage, all utilities, anything that is conducive to maintenance of the house or the upkeep of the house, we put it in the house account. So my husband and I, we have our separate accounts, but we put towards the house account every time we get paid. So there's an allotted amount that we came up after looking at expenses and everything. There's an allotted amount that we take out of both of our checks, out of our accounts, our individual accounts, every time we get paid, and we put into the house account. How has that been working?
Um, it's been working pretty well so far as maintaining the bills and stuff, and that way it doesn't feel like you've given all your money to bills. You also have money that we always have our own money that we can kind of play with if it comes down to it. So, but as long as that house account is taken care of, then everything else you kind of do. That way you won't have that scarcity mindset or worried about, well, I'm getting everything to my bills. I don't have nothing left for myself. So that way it's kind of difficult at first, but it just takes discipline to get used to it. And over time, it gets better.
Absolutely. Thank you. So yes, so having that account for the house and making sure that you give to that first, besides God,
Right.
give to that second is important to make sure that everything is accounted for when it comes to your monthly expenses. So, in that way, you can have a budget set in mind, and then you can set your funds out for saving. You make sure the house is good, but you'll have those funds so you can see firsthand on what you should save. So, very important. Another thing is we just started the 100-day challenge.
Oh, yeah.
So we started that, saw the trends on social media with that. We got our 100-day challenge book. So we've started that as well. Um, what else that you can do for saving?
Well, I think going back to the home account thing, I think budgeting is like the biggest,
Absolutely.
probably one that you can do because you need to know what's coming in and what's going out.
Absolutely. So there's different ways that you can do the budgeting. Um, we use a software. You don't necessarily need to use software. You can use the old-fashioned um, Microsoft Excel spreadsheet to do your budgeting. So it's just all about looking at your monthly income as well as your monthly expenses. So keeping track of that per month, and then also just keeping track of just what you spend, just automatic. So we use, what is it? Quickens. We use Quickens software, so we account for everything. And when I say we, I say I. So I account for everything coming in and going out. So I'm looking at what we're spending, I'm looking at our bills, and with this particular software, and this is not to put that out there because this is just us utilizing the software. It's nothing like a sponsorship or anything like that. But we've been using it for quite some time, and it kind of tracks our spending. It tracks certain trends, and we are able to look at a year overview of our income as well as our expenses. So it gives like a sort of like a P&L type of ordeal where you can see, your profits versus losses type of thing, if I can kind of put that in.
What's a P&L?
Profits and losses.
Oh, well, to explain this case, everybody don't know what that means.
Exactly. So incomes and expenses. So it shows what goes in, what goes out, and it kind of, when you're looking at that year overview, it's kind of shocking sometimes to see, like, I spent this much on this, like, what's going on? I'm spending this much on shoes, like, what's going on?
Yes.
So, but yes, so definitely a budget is something good to do, good to have. So you can definitely track your spending habits, and then what you can kind of plan out for saving as well, what you can save comfortably, because you want to be comfortable too. You don't want it to be something that is that's going to be a negative impact on your household. It needs to be comfortable, and you don't have to start off like saving all this money all at once. Take baby steps if you haven't done it. And then once you start seeing that savings pile up, over time, then it's kind of rewarding. So another thing I thought about while talking is what you can do to save. So what my husband and I are doing, we're trying not to eat as much fast food.
Stay home sometime.
Yeah. It helps tremendously because you really don't know how much you're spending by going out to these fast food places. Like, for example, for a family of 3, going out to like a fast food restaurant, you're averaging probably about $35 to $40, and that's on one meal. So if you would take that and and think about, like, if you're cooking at home. So yesterday I had made a chicken pasta, which chicken. How much was that chicken? Like $7. $7 for chicken. Pasta was like what? $2, $3.
About $3.
About $3 for pasta, and what is that? So that's like $10. And the veggies, the tomatoes was like $2. And I put spinach in there and a Parmesan sauce. So average that dinner averaged probably about what?
$25 maybe.
Maybe. Probably not even that. Probably like $20.
I'm just going with the higher
Right.
end.
So going with the higher end, probably $20 to $25. But we had leftovers, so we ended up eating it again today. So that is a huge savings versus us going out and getting fast food. It cut back so that those additional funds, instead of going to get fast food, you can put it towards your savings. So that's another thing you can do as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I thank you, dear.
You're welcome. I can go now.
You can go now. So that concludes tip number 1, savings. Savings is important. You want to make sure that you have funds saved when it comes to purchasing a home. It is very important. So stay tuned for tip number 2. If you are in need of a realtor, I am your girl, Melissa with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. You can contact me through my website at movewithmel.com. the number 2day.com, and I will be happy to help you. Take care. Stay tuned.